Hey guys, welcome back to the Casual NBA Fanatic podcast. Now, today we're just talking about the entire Jaylen Brown rumors. Just the trade rumors. Obviously, it started back years ago, but obviously for this offseason specifically, it started off with the Giannis rumors, and obviously Boston missed out. Yes, that probably drops their ceiling heading into next season, not having that Giannis Tatum pairing. But the fact is, when you look at the actual rumors themselves and you look at the trade market for him, and all the other offers that are on the table, I don't think Boston's going to find just any trade that actually makes sense for their current timeline, especially building around co-stars Jayson Tatum and Derek White. They have win now role players, mature young guys as well, ready to compete right now. So when you look at the trade packages across the league, it just looks fucking shit for Boston overall. And in terms of just what the Jaylen Brown Tatum tandem has achieved for you, it's just weird to keep shopping him around. And who knows if Boston is actually actively shopping him around, but they are actively listening to offers right now, especially with the amount of teams that are actually in the race for him. Because we don't know how Jaylen Brown is feeling about all of this as well, being put back on the trade block after the magnificent season he just put together, defying all expectations that we had for him and certifying himself and cementing himself as a superstar in this league. And so basically, let's just start off by actually appreciating what the duo of Tatum and Brown has achieved, because blowing them up just takes away this entire Boston era of basketball. We're talking about a 9-year pairing that spanned back to when Tatum was drafted in 2017-18. So Jaylen Brown was only 1 year in. So basically, they played their entire careers together. But Jaylen Brown and Tatum in these 9 years, we're talking about 6 years with 50-plus wins. We're talking about 5 conference finals appearances. So basically, with this duo, you're getting a 55% chance of just getting to the conference finals. We know how utterly competitive this league is at this point in time. We're getting 2 finals appearances and obviously the championship out of these 2 guys. And this is the best tandem in basketball in terms of just offering that athletic and physical imposition. And then also just the most versatile duo when you talk about their shared skill sets. Jayson Tatum is the most versatile NBA player in the world right now to me, and he has been that for about 3 years at this point. But Jaylen Brown, what he brings as an apex scorer and that completely versatile athletic and physical frame that he brings to the game, the defensive work as well, an isolation specialist on both ends. And obviously, we have to address the realities of their contracts. That is why Boston is listening to offers, because the point is, we're talking about a duo that both of them make over $57 million just next year alone. And this is a duo that takes up 64% of their current salary. So they just don't have that much money to be spending at any point. And that does ruin the flexibility, especially, and it's sad because these are homegrown talents. And you want the NBA to reward these teams for homegrown products that they have developed into who they are today. But it is so hard with the flexibility to actually pay these guys what they do deserve and keep them together and keep that continuity. And there's so many perks. Obviously the continuity helps the fan base and structure of the organization too, but it just sucks that 2 players, because you have to pay them maxed out, but they make such a staggering portion of the salary cap. But that is the thing. But the thing is, the duos just achieved so much. And to even think about cutting them off when really the last time we saw them properly healthy, and obviously 2025, I know Tatum gets injured, but he was healthy for most of that. But really last time both of them were fully healthy for a playoff run, they won the title. And I know that team was absolutely phenomenal, but we're talking about year by year conference final success at the very worst and just top 2 seeds here on out. Jaylen Brown, even before Tatum got their top 2 seed, I know he was a rookie as well, but just the actual winning DNA with this combination here, and then you add in Derek White and how good that trio combination has been, it becomes really hard just seeing them ever getting rid of Jaylen Brown, actually in this era. And when we talk about the rumors, if you look at the teams, I'm pretty sure Portland's apparently the favorite to get him now, but the teams out there, Portland, Detroit, Charlotte, Cleveland, Denver now as well, whatever team it is, JB is still being shopped even after the Giannis fallout in theory. And for me, I just think instead of just halting shut on all these rumors, even when the Giannis rumors were going down, it's a little bit of a lack of respect and a little bit of ignorance from the organization for what the tandem still is. We're talking about a duo that, again, guaranteed 2 seeds, top 2 seeds every year, and conference finals favorite probably every single year heading into the East. Like, that is really fucking hard to come across and just to guarantee. And it's because this duo is so matchup dependent, because of the versatility of their skill sets and how they actually match up to all these different sorts of teams. And when you talk about Jaylen Brown and like the different roles that he has picked up for Boston, like, he's done majority of his work as a 1B option. And I would say the time that he rose to that 1B option would have been in late 2019, in that bubble year though, leading into the bubble year. That's probably when Jaylen Brown ascended to a 1B second option. I think he would have took the reins off Kemba Walker pretty early in that bubble year. But from 2019 to 2025, 6 years as a second option, we're talking about 24 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists on 55% effective field goal percentage. Still really efficient considering the diet and the play types that this guy usually thrives with. And in those 6 years, we're talking about 4 conference finals. And then also, we skimmed to what we just saw a year ago. Tatum's out for majority of the year. Jaylen Brown as your 1A option, especially coming off like what was like a pretty average year for him in 2025. Like when they did lose to the Knicks, that was a pretty average year for Jaylen Brown, but he bounces back. And just the commitment to actually just produce and like the actual, again, the frame, the strength, the power that allows him to just take on extra workload as well. And last year, he just put together what was a Jaylen Brown level of masterpiece that we wouldn't have expected any better than. We're talking about 29 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists on 52% effective field goal percentage. And we're also talking about 56 wins and the second seed in the East. Like, obviously, the offensive impact stuff, it's not completely there. Like, we understand that with Jaylen Brown. And we also understand, like, there's limitations. Like, yes, he has improved overall as, like, a passer and playmaker. But in terms of the offensive variety, he has improved over the years somewhat, but not to the same drastic level that maybe we'd like to for this to be the most poetic offense in the NBA. But the thing is, this dude's improved every year, no doubt, no matter what. And he's still in that superstar top 15 cusp right now. And he's one of the apex scorers going around in that apex scoring mold. And again, he brings like elite isolation value on both ends of the floor. Like, you can trust Jaylen Brown to basically walk down any matchup and get like a relatively decent possession-based shot for you. And that has been the isolation value is there. When the offensive system does stall out, and again, that's very rare for Boston's creative system, but when it does stall out, it's just so beautiful just to have someone that you can resort to go and get you a bucket on all 3 levels and rely on their athletic and physical tools to be able to create comfortable looks that they can actually make. And then the isolation value defensively as well, his isolation defense, most notably in that 2024 playoff run. And like what he did as a young guy in his career as well, like when he was younger and he was one of the better perimeter defenders in the NBA, full stop. Obviously the team defense, obviously that's not exceptionally great. And again, the offensive impact. So there are negatives still. But the fact is, like, you just don't shop a guy like this heavily, this many times when the formula has worked this many times. Like, we know Jaylen Brown as a player, again, yeah, he's flawed. Like, relies on a tough shot diet as well. Like, a lot of deep twos, a lot of deep minis, a lot of fadeaways that he resorts to. Not overly aggressive to the rim historically throughout his entire career. We know the 3-point shot has delved as soon as he's entered this real perennial all-star realm. We're talking about a guy whose team defense isn't super consistent either, the instincts. And then we're talking about a guy's playmaking value never really screams off the charts. And that kind of plays into the offensive impact numbers. Even last year, not looking that great despite putting up these huge production numbers. But the point is, like, there is merit in sticking with what works and not messing around with chemistry. And that means even just sitting in this glut of all these rumors and stuff and listening to these trade talks, like, that does mess with your chemistry because Jaylen Brown's going to come into the locker room preseason. It's going to be different to a standpoint to start. And you don't want anything in the way of you guys achieving your goal of hoisting the trophy. And it starts from day one. You have to be clean cut about what the team's going to look like even from now on. When you enter free agency, these are the pieces I want to pick up, but I'm building around this core. You want to know what core you're building around even before free agency starts. And that might be, like, I think this duo will be there. It's going to be really hard to shop JB, even considering his contract as well. So I think this will be the duo, but in terms of just how the chemistry, I don't know how that's going to work because this is the second time that Jaylen Brown has been, decently shopped around and actually put on the block aggressively. Like they did this with, I think it was Kevin Durant, like that, the whole trade rumors when KD was in Brooklyn, but it's just a lot. And obviously Boston's super mature. We talk about locker room with Joe Mazzulla, Derek White, Jayson Tatum, all these guys that have been around JB for a long time. Like, it's going to be fine, especially when they keep him. The chemistry will be fine because these are super mature guys. These are veterans in this league. But it's still just a lot to shop around a guy who's done just so much for you. And that lack of belief, faith, and trust for Jaylen Brown, I wouldn't have too much of a problem with him if that was to dull for him. And if you look at any of the trade packages that you were getting for, like Portland's deal, I thought was more centered around like Shaedon Sharpe, Jeremy Grant. I don't even know if it's Tamani Kamara or Scoot Henderson or something, but if you're not getting Tamani Kamara back, just shuffle that deal to the side. Like, you need the star power next to Jayson Tatum. We know Jayson Tatum can actually struggle as this apex isolation slowed down scorer. That's where Jaylen Brown does alleviate there. Detroit, they offer around Asar Thompson probably and like Ron Holland. Like, Boston doesn't want any part of that. Charlotte, what do they have to offer? Unless you want to go into a 3-team deal, like Boston would want a center out of that deal. They're not giving up Brandon Miller. They're not giving up Conker-Nipple. Even if they did give up Brandon Miller, I don't think Boston would really want much part of that. They don't need another play finisher. They need an actual play creator and play igniter. Cleveland, I don't really know what they can offer except for Evan Mobley, and I just don't see Cleveland giving up Evan Mobley. I think he's that transcendent, still of a talent to want to keep around. So in terms of just the offers that will be coming their way, like Denver, I've got no clue what the offer would be there. Unless it's like Jamal Murray, which maybe there's some, you can explore that. But unless it's like Jamal Murray on the table, I don't really see much merit there. So point is, if you are Boston, you just want to do whatever you can to just make JB feel comfortable in Boston one more time. Because entering his 11th year in the city, you just want your best chance. And this is the prime for this duo. And you don't see duos come around this often. Duos that complement each other this much. And I've talked about how it kind of relates to the MJ Pippen sort of dynamic in terms of just how they complement each other as, big wings with both physical and athletic traits who just impact the game as a duo in every single aspect. And it's really special what Boston has found, and they have to keep it going. We've seen Minnesota go away from continuity, but that's because they literally just couldn't even get to the finals. So there's no merit for Boston to even be trying to blow this up, especially when this dude is durable and he's given everything to this city. I appreciate you guys for listening, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.